Tonight at 11, we have new developments to a story we've been following for more than a year. We've told you how our state's massive high-tech business park, known as the LEAP District, needs more water. But tonight we've learned it's not just the LEAP District. Dustin Grove explains why the whole city of Lebanon is now waiting for water.
So how many acres do you have here?
2.25.
John Dyson and his family have lived on the outskirts of Lebanon for about a decade.
It's pretty.
Thanks. And we like the scenery.
But the scenery here will soon be changing. Already is. On what used to be a quiet country road is now what locals call a highway for truck traffic.
On any given day, there could be, a truck every 30 seconds going by.
To and from, the biggest thing to happen in Lebanon since, well, maybe ever. Nearly 10,000 acres of land just down the road, bought up to build up the LEAP Innovation and Research District, developed by the Indiana Economic Development Commission to transform this farmland into a destination for big business. Eli Lilly is already building a $9 billion manufacturing facility here with plans to hire up to 900 workers. Those workers will need somewhere to live, so developers announced plans for neighborhoods with hundreds of homes. A big box supermarket chain bought land nearby, and the Dysons and their neighbors?
Our only option was to list commercially.
They listed their properties too.
And we did have a buyer lined up earlier in the year.
A future apartment complex, but then John says came one giant problem that stopped them in their tracks.
Unfortunately, they backed out because of the water woes.
Water woes. Mayor Matt Gentry says there's not enough of it.
Until we find some additional water from somewhere, we're kind of on pause from a growth standpoint. Just where Lebanon is, from a geographical standpoint, this is a challenge for us. We straddle two different watersheds. Water kind of runs away from us.
City leaders say the LEAP District didn't cause the pause, but did speed up the inevitable. A state study 20 years ago anticipated the eventual need for more water. One proposal was to build a pipeline to bring water to Lebanon from an underground aquifer in Lafayette.
But last year, that city's citizens and community leaders, concerned about their own water needs, launched a campaign to stop it. It's on pause while the state studies how much water is available and from where.
We want to make sure that we have the water that we need for our growing community and the needs for generations to come.
Was the cart put before the horse? Why was this not figured out and solved before all this growth?
The challenge with that, and I completely understand when people think about this of, why didn't you secure the water before you did this? The problem is that securing water is extremely costly.
Lebanon leaders are exploring all options, and state economic development leaders are too, because any new project for the LEAP District, along with those hundreds of new homes, that Meijer store, and any other business that might want to build here, we'll all have to wait. John Dyson says he has to wait too.
So what does that mean for you?
What that means for us is that we're stuck here. I hope that they get the water situation figured out and they can give potential developers confidence that there's going to be water for whatever they want to develop, so that we can at least, move on from this, move over to the next county and move on with our lives.
Right now, the state is doing a regional water study to find out how much water is available and where.
Dustin, what about the people who live there? Do they have enough water?
They do. This is not a situation where people are going to run out of water who are already connected. It's just that there's no more water to promise anyone new coming to Lebanon. And the mayor says this is something that other communities here in central Indiana should be paying attention to, because they too could wind up waiting for water in the same situation over the next 20 years or so. We're going to have part two and that part of the story tomorrow night.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow night. Dustin Grove, thanks so much.